ATNA has been around for over 40 years, really. And I think every black person in Nottingham has been affected in one way or another by the ATNA Centre. So there's a lot of history, a lot of legacy. Unfortunately, a lot of that is not captured, stored, and passed on to future generations. So the younger, say third generation removed from the Windrush, have little knowledge of what has been achieved by their African Caribbean elders. Because of that, we thought that it would be useful to actually begin to capture some of this information, because our elders are dying out, and so we want to have something preserved for future generations. And that's what led to the idea of an intergenerational project. We then sort of started to put together some ideas as to how we will be able to make that happen. We started by having a few young people come in and talk to our elders, and then get some feedback from them. As we got that feedback, which showed that there was an interest really in hearing from the elders, we then decided to put in a bid and have a project where these younger people would learn the skills, first of all, interviewing skills and how to take information and use information effectively. And then they'll be able to talk to the elders, capture their stories, and then reproduce those stories. And that was the thinking. Because ATNA has sort of been going through a bit of a crisis. There was a lot of pressure from my time, and I wasn't able to actually deliver the project. So having successfully got the funding, I spoke to Panya, because I've worked with Panya for many years. So I called her to see whether or not it is something she'd be interested in delivering for us.
I think the whole intergenerational project has gone really well. There's been, I think what's happened is it's highlighted the elders in the community who are willing to talk, who are willing to have a dialogue with us, and the ones that we can build a relationship with. Obviously, it's also highlighted those who are not willing to talk, who want to be judgmental and who want to point fingers. And we can leave those to one side and work with the ones who want to be positive and who want to move forward. So I think, yeah, that's one of the things that this project has highlighted.
I, as a second generation, pay homage to those thousands of souls that crossed over from paradise over the great pond, to strange lands further than the horizon and beyond. A tribute is only a small token was what was paid for me, for you, for us, for unsung heroes of yesteryear, for ones the youth of today overlook and never hear, the ones that helped build this country's society and broken down the walls of adversity. I salute you. I salute the protests of progress that soothes and smooths everyday life today. I salute the loved ones of those who fought the battle and have passed on. For your DNA and influence oozes through the veins of modern British culture. The forerunners of our generation, I applaud you. Thank you.
The generation gap is like a maze. There are differences of opinion, and both have different cultures and perspectives about life experiences. It is like the Bible and the TV magazine. One is filled with foundational principles to guide you through life. The other, a plethora of pictures, temporary information with its glossy pages to guide you to the time and place of the next program for pleasure, fun, and excitement. Both generations see and do things from different perspectives.
How I look at it, it's like a gene that's been passed down. And in that gene is a protectiveness. And I can see it going back way beyond my grandmother, that the older generation tend to protect the younger one because they know. And sometimes you ask an older person things, they don't really want to tell the younger ones how painful it was. All I know is that myself, I try to pass on to my children some of the things that I've learned. And thank goodness they haven't closed their eyes. Like some parents are growing their children and grandchildren, and they don't want them to know what life was back home. They tell them they have to speak English. Yes, speak English. But to really mingle and fuse, you have to remember that to be a people, you need to have a language. And this is where you're here, and say you two young people go to Jamaica. And if you don't learn to talk a little bit of the patois that they talk, you're lost. So you can't mingle with the people that you don't move. You know, when we came here, and it was a pleasure to see a black person, to just communicate. So that's what we've got to pass on, and not to forget that second language. Sometimes it can save your life in a foreign country.
I know that it's not as hard as it was. So it would be nice to hear some more stories to put things into perspective for myself, so I could understand a little bit more, and then hopefully pass that knowledge on as well. So that's just me on a personal level.
I'll agree with her. The stories definitely will be one to sort of like educate myself with, and to sort of grasp an understanding of what it was like, first coming to England, and the different struggles and hurdles that you have to sort of overcome.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Did everybody hear that? Yeah. And actually, then there was reversing it to the elders. What would you like from the youngest? Because I don't know if I can still call myself a young person. You know, I don't think I can pass. But yes, what would you like?
Well, I would like to see the youngsters, don't waste the spring of their youth in high dalliance. Plant seeds to blossom in their manhood and to grow fruits on their own. The opportunity is out there for everyone. The elder did not have the opportunity when we came here. It was restricted under the pressure of life for your family living in the condition that we're living. But now the opportunity is yet more open. The elders has fought without any recognition during those years. It's only in the latter years the elders seems to get some recognition from authority. So back to the earlier statement which I made, the opportunity is there for the younger one. They should not waste the spring of their youth in idle dalliance. Plant seeds to blossom in their manhood and to grow fruits when they are old. It's, as Mrs. Anderson spoke about legacy, it will be a legacy for their children.
And that honesty and that openness as well. Because everybody makes mistakes. That's part of life, and that's how you learn. But sometimes you can go up with the elders and you think that maybe they never make mistakes, and they never wore their trousers low, and they never put their hair in a weird style. Got a question at the back?
I just wanted to build on sort of what you've been saying, because I don't think it's not just opening up about your mistakes, it's about not being filled with pride and being able to be vulnerable. Because I was doing a project about refuge, about seeking refuge, and I spoke to my mum about her side of the family, because it's basically everyone was seeking refuge, and my mum's also a social worker for young refugees. And I felt like I didn't know her. Like, we ended up talking till 4 in the morning about what her mum did and what she did and how hard her life was. So it's actually quite emotional, because I was just like, I've never asked you that before. And I think we both felt like, especially when you're related to someone else, you don't talk to them like you talk to your friends. You don't ask them the questions. You make such an effort to be like, how was your day? Your mum asks you how your day was, and you're like, you're asking me again, and I just think it's being okay with that. Being okay with saying, you're my mum, you're my grandma, and you can get upset, and you've had a hard life. And I think that opens that barrier with that person.
Thank you. I know there's only a small gathering of us here today, but it's not quantity, it's quality. And what I'm hoping that people will do from today is go out and spread this word and share it. One of the things I would like to see from the elders is for them to go amongst the other elders and say, give us a chance. We do want to know, and we do want to hear your stories and everything. And go out and spread those words. And for the youngers to go out amongst their own peers and say, look, the elders aren't that bad, and they've got something to say. And so we can create a dialogue and come together a bit more.
My expectations for this evening was to get the elders and the youngers together and get a dialogue going, and I think it was achieved. I think that there's definitely been a seed has been planted, and now what we need to do is to water that seed and to make sure that we continue to nurture it and make sure that it grows really well, because the elders were definitely talking to the youngers, and some of the youngers have come up to me and said they found it really interesting and they'd like to have a social evening where they could sit and listen to some of the stories, and that's exactly what we wanted to happen. So it's about us now continuing this.
The project isn't finished. I'm hoping that through the NBA that it will continue. And I hope that this will give the sort of Nottingham Black archives a springboard from which they can begin to build up that wealth of material.
Well, I believe they are trying to achieve unity among the community and to pass on the experience what we had in our early years, and to let that area of respect come within our community. Because without respect, we are falling apart. As I mentioned, respect is a chain of contact. I respect you for what you are, you respect me for what I am, others respect you, and I thought we will respect each other. You see, it's there shouldn't be any barrier where respect is concerned.
Well, I think it's a really positive event. I think it's a really good idea, and it's good to hear both sides sort of have a dialogue and share together. It's not something that you often see, so I really enjoyed it because it's a unique event.
I just feel this evening has been worthwhile. It's been full of inspiration. It has titillated ways forward. I can always begin to think and associate and bring images into the idea of the Nottingham Black Archive. It's a great idea. The time has now come for us to spread our wings.
I've worked on other projects previously, trying to work with elders, and it's actually been quite hard. It's ironic because you talk about how hard it is to engage young people, but from my experience it can be a lot harder to engage older people. So it's actually really good to see so many people here and really on getting involved, and it makes me think, well, if these people are here, then you need to utilise that group and getting them involved with others, because to have that enthusiasm I think is something really special, and this is the start of something much bigger. I can feel that because people feel really dedicated to the cause, which is good.
A lot of information was shared, and it was a two-way thing. We now have an idea of what the younger people think about us, what we've contributed, and also I felt that they were being honest, because the gaps, they spoke about those, and also they valued us in what they were saying as well. Great evening, lovely evening.
Love is all we need to give, but we can't give love unless we have love. So we have to cultivate the love for ourselves first. Then we extend that love. That is the cement for whatever gap we have between generations and between people generally.